Okay, and we are back from last night.
Wow, that was a long that was a
Right?
long delay.
Yeah, that was a long delay. One of the longest delay in the history of
Um,
broadcast.
I have a feeling we're being sabotaged, man. I mean, I really have this feeling that we're being sabotaged. Like there's somebody out there. There's a force stronger than us that's very influential when it comes to you know, internet servers and whatnot. And they just they just got the wire when the show starts. And I have a feeling that this person doesn't like you very much.
Right?
Or maybe doesn't like me because he's cutting the connection from my end. You know, Jago.
Well, it makes sense. He can't cut the connection from my end, so he'll cut yours. Basically, to leave me hanging.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I'm
right. That's
saying?
right. That's right. That's
You know,
so that
you
means
know,
that
you left me hanging, and I was by myself. It was a good thing that John was around.
yeah.
There was, oh yeah, hey Rye, hey Rye, Diego. What you do want?
Yeah.
What you do want people to call you, Diego or Rye? Bibu?
You want
Right,
to call
I'll call you
you
Tate
want to
Bibu.
you want to you want to call Jago or Rai? Which one do you want? Jago or Rai? Huh? Pick your pick. What do you want to be called? Yeah, you can call him Bino. He said, I don't know
Bino.
whatever that means.
All
Bino.
right.
Bino Kulapu.
I
All
know.
right,
I was
so
about to say that. Bino Kulafu.
it just shows our age, man.
I
Basically,
know,
that's
right?
the thing. That's why you should always hang out with people your age. 'Cause you can like quote stuff and they get it. Because like,
Yeah.
if you hang out with people younger than you, they would be like, "You
Yeah, they
sound like
won't
my
get it. They
dad."
won't get it. Like, what's that? What's Vita Kalafu? Like, what? You don't know Vita Kalafu? Are you
I
crazy?
know.
Are you
It's
kidding
for
me?
vigor. It's for vigor and vitality. You know,
I know it's for vigor and vitality, right? And there's that
right?
kung fu guy,
Yeah,
shaved
who's like
head,
trying. And
right?
he's tying a lasso on like this like sticks or something, whatever the heck he was
Exactly.
doing. I don't
Not
really don't
so
get the point of all
that made me
this.
confused. I mean, are you a cowboy or are you a Chinaman? Which one are you?
I mean, what the heck? What does that say about the product? Like, if I drink that product, I'm gonna start doing that. I mean, like, for what purpose? I mean, you should have just at least shown him
Well,
like
okay,
working late or being at the
okay.
gym.
Question. Do you know someone who actually had vino kalafu? Like, do you know people who actually drink it?
Um,
I
I
see it on
heard that it's
TV a
like
lot, but I don't think I
I
know
heard
anybody who drank it or who
I
had
think
it
it was
from my
I
friends.
I think it was used as pamparegla of some sort, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe that was shoktong, si hoktong. I don't know what the difference is, but for me, like
For
shoktong is
vigor
like the
and
same thing as
vitality than pamparegla.
yeah. Or maybe shoktong. Maybe shoktong's the one. I don't know. People out there who lived through the '90s, let me know because obviously I never got my period, so I don't know if there's truth to that. But I hear that stuff, like like you don't take a bath when I don't know, like women are not supposed to take a bath when they're on their period, or you wipe them with alcohol when they have dysmenorrhea,
See,
stuff like
that's fake
that.
news right there. That's fake news
Like,
from the past. You
yeah, I
know,
wouldn't be able to
like you
confirm that
can't do
because I'm
certain
not a
things when
woman.
when you have your period. That's in vernacular we say like tiniguang mana,
Yeah,
tiniguang, right? So I mean now
yeah,
it's fake news. People would say things
yeah.
like, no, that's not true.
I just know for a fact that like Filipinas are not really big fans of tampons. Because like in the States, like you would probably see, you probably like more women would probably use tampons than like sanitary napkins. But here in the Philippines, it's like a tampon is like a taboo. Like no woman would like insert that thing in there. It's like it's just how it is. Like like people
Because of lack of
maybe
information, I guess.
lack of
Somebody,
information, but
right?
it's actually more absorbent when you think about it because you stick that thing in there and then like no leaks whatsoever. Plus, you don't have to. I mean, I'm not a woman, obviously, and I can't speak for women. And mostly, only women who've tried both a sanitary napkin and a tampon would probably be able to explain that. But like I said, I grew up with women. I saw tampons all over the house growing up. My mom was a tampon lady, so she had that. I've never understood what that was. I would just see like OB or Tampax. And I think my sisters used it too when we were in the States. So I wasn't really like, just to hear the Philippines though. It's like nobody uses that thing. Like I don't know of like, do you? I mean, of a
No,
Filipino who
no,
uses
no.
tampon?
I would always, hear about it in the movies that I watch, but I have
Yeah,
never met anybody amongst my
maybe because they don't
friends
like
who
that
uses
string sticking
tampons
out.
or who ever use
They get
tampons.
conscious. They
I
get
don't know. I
conscious of
mean,
the
I don't even know what
string,
it is.
or
I know that you
they have this
insert it, but I
fear.
don't even know what it looks like.
It's basically like super absorbent, like it's like a cottony thing, almost like a diaper thing, but it's just like a tube. So you stick that thing in there, and then when your period, it absorbs everything, it expands. So no, no leaks whatsoever. But there's a string that's sticking out, and to remove it, you have to pull that string out. So I think that's maybe some of the women out there, they get conscious about having that string sticking out, or
But
it
nobody
just
would
don't.
see it. That's the thing. Yeah, if they're conscious about it, like
The
nobody
boy,
would
the
see it.
boyfriend would, the boyfriend would, or
Oh, man, what
or
kind of
maybe they're
boyfriend do
like,
you have if he keeps on like
yeah,
peeping
yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
like
You have to
inside? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
pull the string in case of emergency. You know what they say? But I mean,
Right.
it's like most Filipino women are they're pretty conservative, right? And they probably don't feel comfortable about like sticking a foreign substance, whatever item, material, object in there. Unlike a sanitary napkin, where you just like stick it on your. I mean, we're not women, so we don't have to go through this kind of thing. But it's
Right.
a reality that
Okay.
obviously women face. Hold on, Diego.
All right. So this is the continuation from last night. We're talking about what
Yeah.
are you excited about
Yeah,
in 2022?
the internet's not gonna stop the show. Jago will. I mean,
Yeah.
this kid is
Well,
just
yeah, most likely, I guess.
he runs
Right.
on supercharged batteries. Look at him. I mean, he's trying to climb the walls and everything. I don't.
Oh, he's supercharged. Did he sleep in the afternoon, or did he sleep right before we started the
Dude, he
show?
sleeps whatever. It doesn't matter. He just like
Does it matter? All right.
he's just bouncing off the walls, man. I mean, I don't even know. Like he
Energizer.
does
He
things that he's
goes
not supposed to
on and
do.
on and on and on
And he
and
does the
on.
things that he's not supposed to do. Like for example, you bring out the toys, right? He won't touch his toys. He will just like he'll open the oven. He will turn on the faucet. He will, you know what I'm saying? It's like what's like I don't get it. Like you buy toys for like if you give a kid toys or something to keep them busy with, and that. But for him, he seems to know that. He seems to look at toys as if like either I'm just trying to distract him from the things he really wants to do, which is like just mess around the house. It's more exciting for kids to do that. I think there are kids who are just like that. They just don't, they don't like toys. Like when I was a kid, I wanted toys and I never got them, so we had no choice. We had to make do with like like
No,
a
but I
bamboo
mean,
stick or whatever.
yeah, but you're talking about when you were already probably in elementary school, not when you were two or like less than
Oh, yeah,
two,
yeah, you're right. You're right. You bring up a good
right? So
point.
you don't
Like
remember
I
anything.
wouldn't know.
Probably you were doing the
You're
same
right.
thing. You were just like
Well, I probably
walking
do the
around the
same. It's my kid.
house, messing around,
Yeah.
making
I mean, he's my
mess,
kid.
right?
I
Turning
mean,
on the faucet, turning it off, whatever.
yeah, just like man,
Bless me.
finding
Uh,
a way to like hurt himself. Like they just like maybe within a span of 30 minutes, he's bumped his head maybe like 3 times already.
Right. See, I mean, Raj was like that. I remember Raj being like that when he was
Yeah,
Rice age. I remember him being like that. So like
yeah,
that. We were in a party, and I remember
yeah.
you. I mean, that's what scared me. That's what
About having
made
kids.
me, yeah, thought about like maybe it's really good not having kids,
Yeah.
right?
Now
Because
he
I
locked
saw
himself in the
you
kitchen.
with Raj, and it was I think Sharky's birthday, and you were
Yeah.
just like. Raj, Raj, no, 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 stop, 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 Raj, no, 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 not there.
Yeah.
This is
And I'm
Raj, Raj,
doing
Raj, Raj,
now I'm doing
Raj,
it
Raj,
with
Raj.
Jago.
I know,
Like
right?
9 years later.
So I remember
So
that. So maybe it's just the same thing because when Snow was around that age, Snow was the same thing. And I remembered you when I was doing it. I was like, all right, see, I'm going through this phase now, and it's really and it's yeah, it's so true. Like everybody would go through it, and I saw my brother as well went through that phase, like what you went through, with Raj when they're just like terrible too. They would just like go around, make mess, go under the table,
yeah.
go under the mannequin skirt, and do lots of like
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
probably
know.
why my dad left. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't blame him. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like
Probably,
because like
probably.
my
Maybe
dad
that's why
left
he left.
my dad left when I was like around 3, and I mean I was probably this
Yeah,
like this, but I mean
yeah. And your dad was
he
like,
was
"All
probably
right,
like
you're 10 now. It's fine. You can
he
come
was
with me now.
he was probably like,
I can
okay, I'm
manage."
not. Papa's just gonna go outside and get something, okay?
Hi,
Not
Pep Boy.
10 years, ten
Whatever you
years
do,
later.
don't have kids. You can have like
Yeah.
if you can have a kid that's like automatically a 10-year-old kid, then that's better.
Uh, Jago, Jago.
See, it's the same thing. Now you're
Jago.
yelling out Jiggle. You're not yelling out Raj. But back then it was always Raj, Raj, Raj. So Raj,
Yeah.
you probably can't hear me, but yeah, your dad was just like was all over you when you were at that age
Jago,
because you were doing the
leave the
same
trash
thing
alone,
that
anak.
Jago's doing right now,
Oh well. Anyway,
right?
I'm just gonna close my eyes. I don't really. Yeah, I can feel like I'm just gonna close my eyes and just hear something break,
Okay, hang on.
and
But
then a child cries
do
right
you have to
after.
follow
That's
him
usually what
around,
happens.
or is it just you doing it? Because I don't think you know. I mean, my impression is like, is Bags telling you to do it, or you're just the one doing it because you just
No, no,
can't help
no.
it?
It's the same thing. If the wifey's watching him, she's doing the same thing. All when I'm in the
I know,
toilet or
but then
whatever, all I
you're.
hear is
I
like
think
Jago,
Bags
Jago,
doesn't really
Jago. It's the
care.
same thing.
Bags
It's
just like let him be, but you on the other hand, you can't help it.
she's more tolerant about like kids being kids.
See, it's just you. Just leave him alone, man. Just leave him alone.
Yeah, but the times that I left him alone, he bumped his head, and all these things happen. So I don't know about that idea. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know about that idea. Like
You
I
have
would
to leave him
rather
alone. I mean, okay, all right. So, what if you're not around? What if you're not around? Probably Bags would just like leave them alone, and probably nothing would happen.
see that's the thing. See that's
You
the thing.
probably
If
like
it's
get
like
a bump, but that's like a minor bump. I mean, that happens.
Like we don't I don't really know, man. I mean, I'm just saying like if I'm not around, then obviously the stress is not going to get to me witnessing what things might happen or how it's going to happen, but I also don't want to get a text message that something's up or whatever. And I think, and you just have to accept the fact that these are the critical years of a kid. These are the years where they are most prone or you know at risk of getting into some sort of accident or whatever. I mean, if you watch the news, you hear it all the time. There's this like 2 year old kid who stuck a fork into the electrical outlet and like electrocuted got electrocuted to death. Like a 2 year old kid, like just holding a fork and then stuck it in the freaking thing and died on the spot. The I know of kids who drowned in the pool in that particular age. Kids who
Right,
get
but is there a fork
stuff
lying around in your house?
stuff like that happen. No, it's not even that. They open the freaking drawers, dude. The kid opens a drawer and gets stuff there. I mean, it's not like you leave a knife around for the kid to get. They climb, then they know where these things are. They know how to turn on the oven. They know, and that's the thing. It's like they learn to get curious, and then the more you tell them not to do it, the more they get intrigued about it, and it's not the kid's fault at all because we don't even remember when you were 2 years old. That's exactly what you told me. Like I wouldn't remember if I was like that. So it's the role of the parents to kind of make sure that they don't get themselves in that situation where, because you can take a risk and just leave them alone, but it might be a risk that you might have to regret for the rest of your life. And like I said, I'm not that type of person. I'd rather deal with it for like 2 3 years until they're more mindful of stuff than like you know just let them be. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it's you're also training them that it's not okay that they're doing that. I mean, you still have to kind of instill in them that it's not okay to touch the outlet, the electrical outlet, that it's not okay to put your hand inside the oven, that it's not okay. It's not like you leave them alone to do it. They're really not supposed to do it. So that's the thing. It's not like I'm telling him not to bounce the ball. That's one thing. He can bounce the ball. He can you know he can play with his toys. He can do whatever. He will jump on the bed if he wants. But there's stuff that you're supposed to let him know that it's dangerous. And then, like for example, like I would have my cup of coffee,
Does
right?
he have a
And
crib?
he's like, he would
You
want to
like put him in a
touch my
crib?
cup of coffee. So I let him touch the coffee. He burns his hand and he goes, yeah, yeah. And I tell him, okay, see, I told you it was hot. I told you not to touch it. You wanted to touch it? Go right ahead. So he does. He's outgrown the crib, man. He will climb over the crib. But like I said, it's only like until 2 or 3 that they're like this. So I will deal with a couple of years of having to shout Diego and follow him around. I'll have to accept that because once that's done, once the kids like around 4 or 5 and they start to be smart alecky and they get intellectual and they can carry a conversation with you, then you have to deal with all the questions now. It's not about running around. They're going to be makulit in a verbal way.
Yeah,
They're
it's
going to be
not
like,
about
"Pa,
that.
what's
It's
this?
about like
Pa,
just
what's that?"
knocking on the door when they're at the toilet for like more than 5 minutes. Like,
That's
hey,
around
Raj,
10. That's around Roger's age now.
I know it
That's
never
that's a,
stops. You always have a
that's a
theme.
dad
You'd be
age.
like knocking on, like, hey, Raj, what are you doing? Dad, I'm in the toilet. What do you want me
And
to
then
do?
they
I
become
can't poop
teenagers,
yet.
and then they become teenagers. They lock their doors in the room. You knock on their door. Hey, doing drugs? Like it never ends. Is there a girl in your room? Whatever. It never ends. Welcome to the world of parenthood, man. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just want to leave it alone and just like be oblivious to all of it and just let things happen and fall into place.
I
But then you
think that's
think
the
because I
best
mean
way. I think that's the
what?
best way.
No, because
I think that's
I've
because
had yeah
if you think
yeah
about it,
I
like
don't know.
you really can't do anything about it. Like your dad, your mom. I mean, right? I mean, they probably want you to be a lawyer or something more than being a DJ. I think my dad like wanted me to be a lawyer.
None of
You
my
know, I mean, but
parents thought I was gonna do radio. They all thought I was gonna be a
I know,
lawyer because I
right? So
talked
they
a
well, they
lot. I
left
was
you alone.
philosophical. I read
They
a
left you
lot.
alone. But I know your mom
Um,
kept calling you about like about things, but I don't know if it was about
yeah.
like being on the radio or
And she wanted
something.
me to be an engineer, and then she wanted me to be like it's a lot of other stuff. But I mean, that's I think that's different. I mean, that's different when you're a kid. I think for me, I think I'm gonna relax once they're past that stage where there's that they're at risk. Because I mean, like right now, if something happens to your kid, and he has to live with it for the rest of his life, like, he ends up with a disability. Like I've heard of kids who are like who have like mental issues, and then you hear about
But that could
stories
have
with
happened
mental.
to us. But yeah,
No, no,
I
no.
know
You
what
hear
you I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I
like we
think
had
about that
like,
sometimes too.
we had a
But
neighbor
the
we had a
thing
neighbor
is,
before, and this kid was like he was like normal, and then all of a sudden like he had mental issues, and apparently like I think the yaya dropped him or something, and he fell down the stairs, and the head got banged up, and the kid just like became
that's true. That's yeah. I heard
I mean
of the like. I think
you, I'm sure if
it's probably a
if
common
that parent
friend.
the parents of that kid, if I'm sure the parents of that kid, yeah, probably call him friend. If the parents of that kid could turn back time, I'm
I
sure the
don't think
parents
the
of that kid would
yaya. I don't
probably
think the yaya dropped the baby. I think he fell
the
down
mom
the
did,
stairs.
or fell down the stairs, something like that. Yeah,
He fell down the stairs, and
yeah,
after that, something happened to
yeah,
the
yeah,
to the kid, and
yeah,
he has issues now, and
yeah.
like he's
And
he was like, well, he wasn't like kept in the basement, but like he would
kind
be
of like
like,
yeah, locked up. Yeah,
yeah,
but I mean,
locked up or something. But yeah, but
so
all I'm saying, like, yeah, that's one kid right there. I mean, he was probably. I mean, we were probably more prone to to be like to be in that situation. But it's more of like, I mean, you can never really tell. Like Aldon fell down from a talise tree, man, head first, because he was doing the Jim Kata thing. I told you about that, right? He was like what, like
yeah,
maybe like first grade or second grade, but he was fine. And well, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you could have you could have fell off a canal and you could have drowned, right? Because I mean,
I did
like
crazy stuff.
you
Yeah,
lost a shoe. You lost a
yeah.
shoe.
No, no, no.
That could have
Dude,
been worse. You
I,
could have like
I
drowned
went,
there,
I went swimming at Davao River, dude. Like,
right? See, and nothing happened to you except like I mean, you got. Did you get beat up by your mom?
yeah, I don't know. Probably got like ringworm or something. I don't know. Probably got something for sure. I mean, you
All
swim
right.
in the freaking stuff out with the
Were you
carabaos, you
grounded?
get some sort of disease.
I remember like your
Um,
mom.
my mom just kicked my butt every day, man. She was like,
Okay.
she would
Right.
look at my feet, and my feet were like dirty because like I'm running around
All
outside the
right.
house without slippers
Then
on. I get
bakos,
whipped.
belt, belt,
Yeah,
belt.
like yeah, I was just like
Anyway.
it was normal to me. It became
All
like
right.
all right. But at the end of the day, it's just um at the end of the day, we don't have a yaya, and we don't even want one because you heard horror stories of like kids being left with the yaya, and then you don't know the kid's at the mercy of the yaya, especially if the kid's not able to talk yet. You know,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
true.
like what if your wifey comes home and then the wife and then the kid can already say a few words, and the kid said, "Mama, Papa, Dodo, Yaya."
I knew it was going there. I knew it was going there.
I had to line up the subject, dude. Come on.
Is that what you're excited about in 2022? That you would get a yaya? Then then that would
Mama,
happen. Like Papa
Mama,
would
Papa,
do
Dodo,
yaya.
Yaya. Those are like the first four words of your kid. Mama, Papa,
Oh my
Dodo,
god. That's not a good thing to be excited about in 2022.
Yaya. All right. Anyway, so that's our topic. All right. So shout out to Jetboy. Shout out to Julius, to Dexter. Thank you three
JJBB.
guys for joining us.
Right.
I
Last
apologize
night
for losing
for
connection last
walking out
night. That
last
was
night.
totally
Right.
not
Yeah, I
within my
know.
control. That was
But then we
not. That
ended
was
up
not.
talking about a lot of stuff. We ended up talking about
Oh,
those
say bye
stuff
bye.
from
Bye
school.
bye.
Hey
Say bye bye. Good night. Flying
Ray,
kiss. Flying
bye.
kiss.
Oh, Bags like she lost a lot of weight.
She did. She did. She's
And
she's
well,
the
I see
opposite of
her.
me, dude.
I
She
know.
works, she hustles, and I'm like here complaining about running after my 2 year old, which I am
Holy
half
crap!
responsible for, bringing into this world. And I'm like, why are we complaining? Like,
I know.
I'm not
Bags, keep
complaining. I'm not
doing it.
complaining. I'm
Whatever
not
you're
complaining.
doing, just keep doing it. Like, right?
And she will because she's programmed that way. It's in her DNA. She
Right?
just doesn't. She does not stop. You know what I'm
And
saying?
stay
Like for
away from
example,
Rod. Stay away from
you know
Rod.
you know what's the
Stay
worst thing
away.
for my
Stay away from Rod, right?
the
Because
word
that's what happened last time. My wife was like, "Oh, Bags was like losing a lot of weight,"
and
and
then
all of a
baby
sudden,
number three.
boom! I know, baby number two was like, "Oh my god!" And you know what? My wife was blaming you, like, "Oh, Rod." Like, oh, he ruined it for Bags because Bags was like, like on her way back to her like,
And then
like
boom.
her college figure, and then like,
Yeah,
boom,
yeah,
there you go,
yeah.
baby number
She
two.
was out of college.
Holy crap!
But I
So Bags, one piece of advice: stay away from Rod. Whatever happens, lock the door. All right, lock the door.
mean,
Let him stay in the sofa.
dude, she's too busy, man. The worst thing that can happen to my wife is to move into a clean house with a hardworking husband. Because then she will have nothing to do and she cannot survive that. She cannot. She's just
All right.
I
So this is
know
a
it.
good
Like,
thing. It's a good
yeah,
thing that you're not doing anything. So she does
exactly.
everything, and it's for her
She
benefit. She's like yeah,
I
yeah.
tell
All
her
right,
to
I
rest, dude.
get it.
Like I actually literally, I would literally tell her, hey, I will pay you the amount, the amount of whatever profit you'll get from cake orders if you just like rest for one day, dude. It's Christmas Day, she's taking in orders. My birthday, she's taking in orders. She does not take a
You
break.
sound like a friend. You sound like a friend. My friend used to say that because I would always go and do my radio job, right? Like I would never absent. I would never skip it. And he was like pissed because every time there's a party, every time there's a birthday, every time there's a Christmas party, I wouldn't be around because I'm like, no, I have to do my job. And he would go like, how much do you get for your 3 hours in the radio so that you can just be
Yeah,
here with
I'll
us,
pay you off. Yeah,
like from the start of the party to the end. And I'm like, no,
yeah. We
that's
just
not
want you
even the point.
around.
It's not about the money. It's what I want to do.
Yeah,
So I just
yeah.
want to do it. So yeah, no,
Exactly.
it's not about the
Same with my
money.
wifey. That's why I'm telling you. If she has a house that's clean that she doesn't have to clean up, she's not.
She'd
She
still clean it,
will.
right?
She'll have issues. She will have issues. She'll have. It's like
She'll be pissed that you're not making a mess. Why are you not
she will
making
be pissed.
mess?
Yes, she will be pissed
Make a
that I'm
mess
making it.
so that
She will be
we can
pissed that
have
I'll be that
something
I'm
to do.
earning too much. Like what I'm saying. Like if she cannot be a trophy wife. Some old rich
No, she
dude can't
can't be
just
like
tell her to
that.
like.
I think
She's like,
she's
I'm a
she's
rich
an
dude.
empowered
You don't
woman.
have to do
She's an
anything.
empowered
Say,
woman.
no, no, she's not. She has too much energy. She cannot sit around with all this energy pent up. She has to drain it all. That's just how she is. She goes to bed. When she lies down 5 minutes, she's snoring. That's just how hardworking she is. I'm the type of guy would like I'd lie down in bed and I would still like watch videos and like end up sleeping like 3 hours later because maybe I have not burned up any energy, because I'm like I said, I'm a couch potato. But that's like also just how I am. As much as I would want to change it. Anyway, let's read Julius's so positivity for 2022, things to get excited about for 2022. Obviously, there's the Omicron variant that's ruining everything for us, but still we can only go up from here. I mean, we've all gone through a really rough couple of years, so let's have a little positivity to start the year with. Julius, what's up with Julius? Nice.
All right, my contract on board ship is about to end, and we are moving to our new house this year. Let's go, 2022. All right, congratulations, new house, new life, new
Yeah,
year,
that's
2022. It's a start.
yeah,
Congratulations,
that's
Julius.
for me.
Very
That's
nice.
that's one of the that's probably the most like one of the biggest purchases a person can make in their lifetime is to purchase a home. It's whether it's a condominium unit, whether it's a whatever townhouse, whatever it may be. Just to purchase a property, that's one of the biggest. I mean, the car. I know. I mean, how many people have cars but are not homeowners yet? That's. But homeowners, it's especially. I don't know if it's easier to do now than back then, but I really don't know because people owned homes back then. Like your parents had a home. Like my parents. Well, my parents didn't. My Lola did, but they probably could have if they had to. They just didn't have to because my Lola's house was big enough and no one else was living there. So they were just like it just took over. But I mean, now is it? You think it's easier now? Maybe it's easier
No,
now
I
because
think
there are
it's
homes
no,
that
I think it's
are
the
like
same. We have the
cheaper.
no. You know what? Here's the thing. Some people who don't purchase homes because they don't want to. For example, like nowadays, you can't find a home in Central Davao. you have to go way up north or way up
Yeah.
or way down
South.
south.
Yeah.
Because I mean that's just the
Like
way it is. And
Mintal.
like yeah, I know some
Yeah.
people like no, we don't like, they can't. They can't afford it, but they won't because they were like, oh, it's so far. It's so far from a Brisa.
Yeah.
It's so far from SM Lanang, or it's far from SM
Yeah.
Ecoland. They don't want
Yeah.
to do it. It's
Yeah.
because if they purchase a home in the central part of Davao, it would be very expensive,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
they can purchase the home, but they can't purchase the home that it depends on, I mean, on your
Location.
budget, right? Because the
Yeah.
location. If you pick an area which is around the central part, then that would be very expensive. Like in your
No,
case, I mean, like
the
you're in a
location they
premium
refer to as
subdivision.
poblacion. Like they could refer to it as poblacion. I mean,
All
last
right.
time I
You
processed some
can get a
papers, it was
house
like
in Bintal or something like in Toril, or you can go in Tigato. I mean,
yeah,
there are like
yeah, yeah, places
housings.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, there are. Yeah,
there are places there, but
but
some people are like, no, I don't want to go there because I want to stay in the central part of Davao,
you have
and well,
to
it's
take
kind
it.
of hard,
You have to, I think you have to take into consideration. You do. Let's say it's much cheaper. The property, the acquisition of the property is much cheaper, but you have to think the fuel cost for your back and forth every day from home to work, the traffic
true.
that you have to go through every day, the time consumed from your trip from home to work. All right, um, all these things. It eventually it's gonna take its toll, and you're gonna end up maybe spend like a couple of years. You're probably gonna end up spending as much as you would have if you have bought a home that's closer to the center of the city. But some people do prefer that. Like it started in. I remember in Manila, like the boom with Antipolo. My auntie Bless bought a property in Antipolo. She bought a house in Antipolo. She never even lived there, but it was just like it became a boom. Like everybody was
Right.
like buying houses in
I know. So
Rizal
it's
because
yeah. I
it's
think yeah. That would be like you have to look 20, 30 years after, right? You because it's gonna expand. All right, the vow would not be
yeah,
like the vow that we used to know. Like it's just like, oh, the
yeah,
central part is this one. No, we're gonna have like
yeah,
a north, like we're gonna have like the northern part. We're gonna have the southern part. Probably gonna have the eastern part and the western part of the vow, and we're gonna have
yeah,
like
yeah.
places there. So, but then I mean, some people don't think that way. But okay, going back to Julius. Julius said like theirs is just 5 minutes away from the airport. So I would say
Nice.
you're like in that Santa Lucia
Probably
like place,
either
like
Diamond
that
Heights
developer,
or yeah, there's that area that I forgot the name, but there's there are a lot of like new homes being built
yeah. My
the,
mom
the
used to have
airport
like a
area.
lot there, but she sold it. It's like really right by the airport. But anyway, yeah, I mean that's really cool because if it's 5 minutes away from the airport, and once the pandemic is done, boom, good for you, man.
Yeah,
Like you
yeah.
don't have to
You
rush
could
when you have
you
to
could sell
leave the vow.
pomelo outside your house, and the tourists can drop by
Right.
and like I mean, if you probably don't live by the main road, but I'm just saying, it's like usually people who live in near the airport, they sell like souvenir stuff. CJ says, "Hey guys, hey, what's up, CJ? I get yeah, Diamond Heights, exactly.
Diamond Heights.
I
Right.
knew it,
Cool.
I knew it.
Cool. Diamond Heights. Congratulations.
I'm friends with a
2022.
developer. Shout out to Kerwin, by the way. I don't know if he watches the show, but shout out to Kerwin. Kerwin, by the way, is the guy who got me into Panerai watches. He was the first guy I saw here in Davao City that had a Panerai watch. And we have a picture. I was with you. We were with Flip Mode. I don't know. It was a Kilo Bee event at Auto Shop. And then Kerwin was invited by a friend, Billy Kane. He was, they're friends from high school, and he invited him over.
Kerwin
Then he
Lee.
was there. And then
You talking
Kerwin
about
Lee,
Kerwin
and he
Lee?
was
All right. Yeah.
Kerwin Lee, yeah, yeah. And this Kerwin was there, and then I saw him like, and I've been eyeing the Panerai watch, and I remember at the time the popular watches were the big watches were U boat, right? TW Steel wasn't around yet. TW Steel copied U boat, so U boat watches was the thing, and then I saw Panerai, and I'm like, no, this is different. Like I prefer Panerai over U boat. A U boat is pretty expensive too, and then they started. I think U boat eventually they started selling it at Chimes. And it was, I was already past the U-boat stage, and I wanted a Panerai. So I saw him wearing one. I actually barred it off his wrist. I took a picture with it, and flip mode was, I think, even in the picture that I took, wearing that Panerai watch, and nobody has heard about it. Nobody knew about it. I was the only one stalking it on the internet. So I do remember that very much. But shout out to the guy. Yeah, I know a lot of people who live in Diamond Heights. So hold on. The status of his home is done already, or they're moving to the new
Well, he's
house
moving in, so that
this year.
means yeah. So it's done.
Nice,
It's probably furnished
nice.
now. So it's a good
Nice.
2022 for Julius. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, congratulations. That is a new dude. That is a big milestone
Right?
to be
Yeah.
able to purchase and move in a new home. That's
Yeah, I
I
was just
you know,
expecting stuff like, oh, I'm excited with like the new Marvel movie coming out, and like you just
yeah,
dropped the bomb, like, okay, I'm moving
yeah,
into my new
like a new
home,
house. That's
Diamond
hard to
Heights.
top. That's
Yeah,
hard to
I know,
top.
right? All right,
I
okay.
mean, I mean, people are like freaking out when they upgrade their iPhone. I mean, this is like
I know,
that's a
right?
home, man.
But then
It's
Dexter
very important.
too is excited about going back to his previous job. Do you know what he does?
I know he's a real estate guy. I know, like
All right,
he
so
sells
he's gonna go
properties and
back to real
stuff.
estate. All right, maybe
I,
close deals and earn
I don't
millions
I don't know
this
if that's
2022.
I think that's
Wow.
his current job. I think he might be talking about a different job because I think his current job is the real estate thing.
All
So
right,
I don't know what
okay.
his previous job
So
is.
what's your previous job, Dexter? What is
I
it
would
that
assume
you
maybe
used
like
to do back then?
sales in Toyota or something like that.
Mhm.
Like okay,
Wow.
just
Selling
I'm
cars?
not, usually they're
That's
kind of
challenging.
related, right?
Mhm.
Um, have you ever tried that, Ice?
What? I was in sales, but
Um,
it wasn't cars.
yeah,
It
it's a
wasn't
different
real
approach, right?
estate,
Like
but
you
yeah,
didn't have like a
but I was in
showroom where
sales.
people walked in. Yeah, because
No,
like
no, like
selling
Flip Mode
cars would
did
be
that.
different.
Flip Mode did. No, no, not Flip Mode. Master Yoda. Master Yoda was with Ford for about a year and a half. So
Oh,
yeah, he sold cars.
okay,
He
so
was
how
with
does that
Ford.
work? So how does that work? Like if people walk in at the showroom, do you like take turns? Like okay, it's your turn now, like, and then there's
Yeah, you
rotation, like
talk to them.
or
Yeah, and he
so
was an idiot at one. He was an idiot one time because there were people like so he shared this story. He was with Ford, and people would look at like cars and whatnot, right? So it's an agent, it's an it's as a sales agent, as a
yeah,
salesman, it's your job to talk to these people like, hey, like you want to get in and you want to check it out, you want to you want to get the feel and whatnot. So
yeah,
um if you talk to that customer, that would be your customer, that would be your client, right?
yeah,
So if
yeah,
they decide to buy a car, then that's your account, right? So
yeah.
there were like two
That's your
people
commission, yeah.
who was looking around, and he went for the guy who was wearing long sleeves and
Just
tie, and
yeah,
there was
fell
this
for that.
guy who
Yeah,
was like in
shorts.
shorts
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
like wearing slippers and whatnot,
That's the guy
and he
who's
was like,
buying.
yeah, so he was like, I was a big idiot, and that guy bought the car
Yeah,
right
that's
off
the
the
guy who's
bat. I'm like, all
buying.
right, I
Yeah,
like it. I'm gonna get it. Because the guy was just coming back for I think he was on vacation, and I think it was buying a
yeah,
car for like a mom or something. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, he was like, all right, I'll get the car, and that guy was like wearing a tie and long
Exactly.
sleeve shirt. It was just like
E-
looking around, and he was just like,
Exactly.
holy shit, I was an
Telling
idiot.
you,
All right,
clothes
yeah. So
don't make the man.
never judge
That's
a
right.
book by its cover.
Same thing with banks. The biggest account holders are the ones wearing the pambahay clothes. The guys who are all
Right,
dressed up coming in, they're the messengers. They're they're
yeah,
the runners.
right. So
They're the ones just
that was
getting the
his
payroll for the
experience.
company. The guys who are wearing the shorts and slippers, that's the
From that
business owner.
yeah,
That's
from
the
that
guy with the
moment on,
mean
he
one.
changed his attitude. He was like, whoever. Like
Yeah,
because
the more you
he was like,
get,
all right,
the more you get, the more
get,
attractive,
yeah.
the customer is for him. And then he
They have so
approaches the
much
guy.
money, they don't care what they wear. I think
He approaches the
that's the
guy,
idea right
and,
there.
and it's a tricycle driver going, "Let me come you 500."
See that mentality, man. See that mentality right there.
What? What?
Driver man, so tricycle eh? Boom! I want to buy this car now. I'm like, holy
No,
crap!
you know what the
I thought you were a
jackpot would
tricycle
be?
driver.
If he sees Miguel walk in one of the showrooms, dude, that the guy manages the rent a car business. So these people buy in bulk. Like they're not gonna buy like one Grandia van. They're gonna buy like 5 or 10. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's kind of a jackpot right there. If you end up closing a deal with like a taxi company or like a rent a car service
True.
or
True.
maybe with like a carpool, whatever, because they're gonna buy several units, and that's gonna be like major commission for you and your part. But so that's the thing. It's like you're gonna have a good year, and then you're gonna have a year where no one's buying. So it really is the kind of job where when you generate income for that particular year, like if like let's say like we're talking about right now, like 2021, was it a good year? Maybe not. 2022, hopefully it'll be a good year. It can't always be a bad year. It can't always be a good year either. So maybe for me, one of the memorable years that just like a really tough year. I'm trying to think maybe 2014, 2013. For some reason, 2014, I don't know, like but 2015 like became a good year. So It really depends. There are years where it's just like, you know, you don't recall very much, and then there are years where I don't. And this is which is funny. Like, is it a bad year because you were saving up for the good year ahead, or is it a bad year because it's like there was nothing? Because most people see that's the sad part too. It's like people don't want to don't want to sound like we're mukhang pera or it's all about the money, but 9 times out of 10, people really base their the success of their year based on their financial status, like based on their financial success. It's all about like you go on Facebook. It's all about like may you be blessed. It's all about income. It's all about like get money. Hopefully like this it's all about money, man. It's all about money, and that's kind of sad. Like most people don't even like recognize a year to be successful or fruitful if they didn't get sick, or if their family, remain together, or that's still a blessed year. It's not always about. It's not about all about the finances. Yeah, you get all the money in the world, and
Are
then
you saying
somebody
bahalag
gets.
saging basta labing? Is that what you're trying to say?
I mean, I'm just saying blessings come in different shapes and forms,
It
like the
does.
rich dude,
True.
right? Like the rich dude who is
Joe
sick
Boy,
would
it's
rather be healthy.
2022. Stay
What's up?
around. All
And then he'll
right.
be like, he'll do his
Yeah, and
attendance and
he'll
then
be
he'll go to
back.
work. He'll do his attendance and then he'll go to work. Like he
It's
won't
like,
show up for the rest of the
okay,
show.
Joe Boy present and like just out of the
Yeah,
door.
it's just like a routine. It's a routine for him.
It's
It's like a
like,
routine. What's up, the boom?
all right,
Like
it's college
Matt
all over again,
Reeves.
huh?
Matt Reeves Batman got me excited when I see how good Batman. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this Batman too. I don't know if they're trying to make it like year one,
This
but
one? You
I've had,
talking about this
I've
one?
had London. I've, I-
I
I've
know,
had
right?
several disappointments with the Batman franchise. Um, Batman versus Superman was a letdown. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of the Dark Knight, and I know the Dark Knight was probably like the most successful box office wise of all the Batman movies. I wasn't a fan of it. I thought it was kind of draggy, and it was kind of like it was trying hard to be dark. I don't know. For some reason, it's tough to have
Ben
a.
Affleck Batman,
No, that was I like the Christian Bale Batman. I like the first one.
right?
The one with Rod Al Ghul, the one with
Yeah,
what's his
the one with
name? I'm gonna have
Taken.
to kill you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Find you, I'm gonna kill you. Whatever. What's that
Liam
line of
Neeson.
his? What's Liam's line? What is it like? You have my daughter or something like that. You took my.
I will find
When I
you,
find you,
and I will.
I will find
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
it's like
that's
I
it. That's
have
it. I will
a
find you, and
particular
I
set
will.
of
Yeah, yeah.
skills, and I will find you, and I will
Yeah,
kill
that one,
you.
that one, that one. That's my favorite of all the Batman movies. That's my favorite. I actually have the DVD, the original DVD of that. That's my favorite because it wasn't, it wasn't trying too hard. The Batman, what was the sequel to that? It was Batman Begins for the Christian Bale series. Batman Begins, and then Dark Knight was it the second, and then
I
the
don't
third
remember.
was I think the third was like
Batman Forever,
oh no, that's freaking Michael. No, no, that's George Clooney.
dude.
I
Michael
think
Keaton. No, Batman
was
Forever.
that George
What's
Clooney
Michael
or
Keaton
Michael
like?
Keaton? Michael Keaton or George Clooney?
Okay, who's your favorite Batman? My favorite Batman
Christian
is Michael
Bale.
Keaton.
I know. Mine
Michael Keaton.
is
I'm a
Christian
Michael
Bale.
Keaton guy.
Mine is Christian Bale. I mean, I like Michael
He's all
Keaton's
right.
personality. I like Michael Keaton's personality. He just doesn't have the physical attributes of the Batman that I had in my
Right.
mind in the
Joe Boy
comics.
says Dark Knight. Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises. So that was the second one or the last one.
Right.
That was the
Is
last
it the
one.
one with the
Sec-
what was his name? That scary
Bane.
guy. Yeah,
Bane.
Bane.
Okay, so hold on.
His voice
So
was
it was
scary.
Batman. So hold on. What was it for? Batman Begins, right? The first one.
Okay, what's your
Christian
take
Bale.
on Pattinson's Batmobile? I haven't seen it. Hang on, let me
It's
check
kind
it
of like
out.
an old. It's like the old school Adam West Batman mobile, but they kind of like made it like like kind of darker. But it's the old school Batman. It's like I think it's like I'm not sure if it was a Dodge Challenger or something. Like it kind of looks like this, one of
Oh,
those like
what
old
this
school.
one?
It
Oh my
kind of looks like this one. It kind
god!
of looks like this. It was. It's not. It's not the. It's not the tumbler, the tank that Christian Bale had. It's certainly not. The that far out thing that Michael Keaton had, which kind of became more far out looking with a. I don't know for some reason, dude. They just can't come up with like why don't they just follow the freaking comic book storyline? Like just go with
Exactly right.
Batman Year
Exactly.
One.
Exactly.
right? Just follow, just don't change anything. Just like look at the comic book, follow the script word for word,
Exactly.
follow the storyline. Just put some actors in there that look like the guys in the comics, and that's it. Leave it alone. I hate it when directors, when these guys who handle the movies, who have nothing, who've never read the comics growing up, who have no respect for the franchise, who did never idolize the characters, all of a sudden start handling like, okay, you can direct, you can produce, you can do the cinematography. That's your thing. You went to school for that. That's your specialty. But for the love of God, stick to the freaking. It's already there. Like these comic book characters, they're it's already established. They already have a particular following. They already have a particular identity. The writers and the comic book artists already did the work for them. All they have to do is just execute it on screen, and they can't
I don't
even do it.
know. All right.
That's why.
That's true.
That's why my. That's why my favorite Batman is the Batman animated series. I don't know if you watch the Batman animated series. That's for me. That's the best Batman. If you just want like a Batman storyline, the Batman animated
Pow.
series. I used to follow that.
Pow. Bang.
No, 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 not the Adam West one.
Wapak.
The animated series, the one with the like Batman had the big jaw and stuff. Like
All right.
it came
Okay.
out.
All right.
That's the one.
But
That's the
okay.
one.
But Julius, my question to you: what's your take on the Pattinson Batmobile? Because I mean, all right. If you ask me, I'm not digging it. But how about you? Are you a fan? Well, you're excited, so I would assume that you're a fan. Okay, with
Yeah,
with the
it's
car, with the Batmobile, Christian Bale's Batmobile, I kind of I kind of liked it.
yeah, the
Um,
Tumblr. Yeah,
though I
it
like
was
Michael Keaton, it was it was just it
obnoxious.
was
It was kind of like
yeah,
because
you know.
you have to
I like him
think,
as
guys.
Batman, but his gadgets, like, not so much. But
It's not
Christian
supposed to
Bale,
be.
yeah, he had cool gadgets. He had a cool
He's
car.
not supposed to be flashy, dude. He's a freaking detective. He works in the shadows. So the real Batman should not even be visible. He's not even supposed to be. So if you have a Batmobile, it should be discreet. That's what it should be. It's not. It shouldn't be something that sticks out and tells the criminals, "I'm coming. I'm announcing my presence." I'm bat. No, he's that's just how Batman is supposed to be. He's a detective. He works undercover. Like he sneaks up on the criminals. He's not like Superman where like he flies or Spider Man,
Okay,
whatever.
here's
So
another idiot
yeah,
who's like one of us. Broke my arm jumping out of the window, pretending to be Batman after watching Batman the
yeah.
animated
So
series. Yeah, we
it's
all
that
did
good.
that when we were kids.
It's that good, dude.
Pretending to be Bruce Lee or something.
Dude, dude.
What an
In our
idiot!
old house, in our old house, we actually
Used to do
jumped
that a
off
lot.
we jumped off the roof with an umbrella. Kasi uso yung parachute. Like when you were a kid, you had this tao that had a
You
parachute
actually
thing that
try
you
that?
threw. We tried that in our old
What
house.
happened?
Well,
Did the
it
umbrella
wasn't
break?
that high. It wasn't that high, but we just like we landed like on the Chico thing. We have like a Chico tree in
Right.
the middle of
Okay.
the lawn, and we had a lawn, so it was okay. It wasn't like cement or anything. But I mean, you jump and it slows down your jump a little bit, but it breaks the umbrella. Like the umbrella, like it goes like
I know, right?
it can't
Yeah, because
it
it's
can't hold
not
your weight.
it's not made for that. It's supposed to be,
Yeah,
it's for
we
rain or
landed on our butts.
for yeah,
We
for
landed
the
on our
sun
butts,
or
but it was
something.
okay. And yeah, so kids do that. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe Diego did take after me because if I went through something like that, I'm pretty sure that idea is gonna come into Diego's mind. But see, here's the thing. You notice all these franchises like Batman, Spider Man, James Bond. You Superman. You name it. They all have different like versions now. Like,
Yeah.
and people are
There's
like, okay, who's
only
your
one
favorite?
Superman though. There's only one
Yes,
Superman.
we know who it is. We know who it is. His name is
It's Brandon Routh.
Christopher De Leon.
Oh, you can never get anything serious with these
Nobody,
guys. Yeah, well, it's Christopher Reeves, of course. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, we can all agree on that. That it's
and
Christopher
it's not
Reeves.
as cheesy as people might say it is. If you watch it now, you'll be like, "Oh, the special effects suck," or he looks so
Yeah, but
corny, or
no,
how can he look
he is
different
Superman.
from Clark Kent? He looks exactly the same. Say
No,
whatever you want to say, but
yeah,
Christopher Reeve just had that comic book look. He just like
yeah,
he looked
yes,
like that.
yes.
He, if you see Christopher Reeve, even if he wasn't Superman, you would probably say that guy kind of can be a Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Right? If you
right.
see Christopher, like the way his face is, his chisel, his height, it's like that's the only role he was born for. Superman. When he did Somewhere in Time, I felt weird when I saw him in
I
Somewhere in
know.
Time. It's a good movie, but it
I
felt weird. He's
it felt
Superman,
weird.
right?
I saw him in
Right?
another movie too. He was like a sort of a reporter there,
It
and it was
felt
so
weird.
weird. Like
It
he
was
can't
so
do another
weird.
he can't do another
He
role
cannot.
besides Superman.
He's
People are
typecasted.
like, oh,
That's
there's
it.
Superman.
I know.
You see him, oh, Superman.
Yeah, he's typecasted now. He's forever. Okay, let's talk about actors who are typecasted now. I
Oh,
mean,
like okay,
like let's say, yeah,
okay.
like
Christopher
Arnold
Reeves would be
Schwarzenegger,
like, Robert
Stallone,
Downey
is
Jr.
Rambo.
because he did a really good
Yeah,
job
yeah.
being
Iron
what's his
Man,
name, Iron
Tony
Man,
Stark.
Tony Stark,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah, yeah.
God forbid, after 10 years, they're gonna start another franchise of Iron Man, and man, probably it's gonna suck because I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't know who the
I agree.
up and coming
It's gonna be
actors
tough.
are,
It's
but
gonna be tough.
dude, I mean, he nailed it. He nailed
He
that
nailed it.
role,
He nailed it.
right?
I'm
Robert Downey
I'm a
Jr.
comic
He's
book
Iron
guy.
Man.
He nailed. I was blown away when I saw Iron Man. I was blown away. Like I was blown away. He really is this billionaire playboy, kind of egotistical guy who just like had this, tech genius and all that. And he just like I don't even know if he made it his own. Like I don't know if it just so happens that his real personality and his real, who he is so much in line with like the Tony Stark character, or he did play the role. Like he read the comics and he said, "Okay, I'm gonna act like this," because he didn't look forced. I mean, you have
Yeah,
guys like Arnold
yeah,
Schwarzenegger,
so
right? He
natural,
didn't look for
so
it
natural.
is so natural. Even if you're not a comic book reader, if you watch Iron Man and you watch Tony Stark and you watch Robert Downey Jr. play the role, and say, that's your idea of who Iron Man is, you wouldn't have a problem because that's exactly how he is in the comics. I did have a problem with Don Cheadle playing his friend. What's his name? He replaced what's his name? The other dude from the first movie.
What was his name? Yeah,
God, what's his name?
I think he had some issues. I mean, that guy had issues,
The guy
so they
wanted more
replaced
money. The
him.
guy wanted more money. But
Howard,
yeah,
that Howard guy, like
Howard
something
Stern.
Howard. No, not Howard
he,
Stern. Something
he,
Howard. Dean Howard?
he
No, no,
wanted
no. Hang on.
he wanted
Uh,
more money.
what was
But
his
they could
name?
have
Like
gone someone else. Don Cheadle just didn't look like War Machine. Yeah, he just didn't look like the
that's
guy.
true. That's
If
true.
if you look at the
What was his
character
name?
in the
What
comics,
was his name there? What was his name in the like what's his
Terrence
character there?
Howard, was it Terrence Howard? Was it Terrence
Terrence
Howard?
Howard. I think Terrence Howard. Yeah,
Okay, Terrence
that's
Howard.
the
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Yeah, the name of the character is he's like Colonel Rhodes. Was it Rhodes?
Right. Rhodes,
Colonel
Rhodes,
some
Rhodes, Rhodes. Yeah.
Rhodes. Okay, so
I know. I was
if you look at the
surprised
comic,
too. I was surprised
yeah,
when
it's
when
Don
he got
Cheadle.
replaced
Don
in
Cheadle.
like in parts of like Don Cheadle. Yeah, and he's a good actor, but it was like I got surprised because I thought Terrence Howard did a good job on
Yeah, and,
on the first Iron
and
Man,
Terrence
but
Howard
he got
fit in
replaced.
with more of like the military kind of look. Don Cheadle
Yeah,
is like, what the heck, man? Don Cheadle's like an indie movie guy. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, he has that
um,
criminal look. That's why he really nailed it when he was
he's,
in Ocean's
no,
11.
he was. Oh yeah, he was
He
always
has
in.
that criminal look. Like he can be a criminal, yeah. But a military man, like I don't think so, man.
I
Like
know. It's just like they're trying to like stir the pot there, trying to make him whatever, trying to experiment with the role. Okay, it worked with Robert Downey Jr. It didn't work with Don Cheadle. I was that kind of like screwed me up a bit. I didn't like that part. And but the rest of the Iron Man movies I didn't like very much. The first one is the only one that I really liked. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. was still excellent in all of them, but the storyline just went to they overdid it. They should have just like kept it more streamlined. And I love how what's his name? I love that actor. God, what's his name? The guy with the brother, the bad guy, the guy who was like the friend of the dad who took over the company. The guy who was in Tron. Oh my
hang on,
god,
hang on, hang on, hang on,
I
hang
love
on.
that actor. I love him. He's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Hang on, hang
He
on.
has a bro. He has a brother.
I'm always confused between him and Jeff Bridges. Jeff
Jeff
Bridges and that
Bridges.
guy.
It's
Hang on.
Jeff Bridges. It's Jeff Bridges. Jeff
Is
Bridges.
it? I
It's
don't think
Jeff
that's.
Bridges.
Was it
It's
Jeff
Jeff
Bridges?
Bridges. It's
Hang
Jeff
on, hang on.
Bridges.
Jeff
It's Jeff
Bridges.
Bridges. It's
Jeff
Jeff. I love Jeff Bridges.
Bridges.
I love Jeff Bridges. That guy,
All right,
any
okay,
role,
Jeff
I'm
Bridges.
telling
All
you.
right, Jeff Bridges. No, what I meant was I'm confused between Jeff Bridges and
I
who
know what
was
you're
that?
talking about. I know what you're
Who's that
talking about.
redemption guy?
The ex husband of Meg Ryan.
Um, hang on.
You think you're talking
Shawshank
about? No.
Redemption. What's his name? No, like the Shawshank the Redemption guy.
No, no, no.
Tim
That's
Robbins. Tim
Tim.
Robbins. Tim
Yeah,
Robbins.
yeah.
No,
Tim
because
Robbins
they
is
were
like
like in the movie thing. Like, well, they don't really look the same exactly, but
they don't.
because they were in the like they were together in Arlington Road. But then, well, yeah, well, like
Like,
who are you talking about? Meg Ryan's husband? I think there's also another
Dennis
guy.
Quaid. Dennis Quaid.
No,
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid.
Dennis
Dennis
Quaid.
Quaid.
And Jeff
No, 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 no,
Bridges.
no, no.
Jeff Bridges is like way older, right?
No, no. You can interchange their roles almost. Like Dennis Quaid, Kevin Costner, Jeff Bridges, Michael
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I
Douglas. You know,
agree. I
these
agree.
people they can all kind of like cross over roles. Like really, they all have that like same kind of very versatile actor
But have
kind
you
of thing. You know,
seen Jeff
where
Bridges' movie? What was that like? Um,
Jeff
it
Bridges
has a
is
cult
like is a
following
good.
now. It has a cult following now.
Oh,
The Big
Fisher
Lebowski.
King.
No, no,
Oh
no.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Big
That's a
Lebowski.
classic. Yeah,
Have
that's
you
a
seen that
classic.
movie?
Yeah. I don't
It
think I've
didn't
seen
really
it,
do
but
good in the box office, but it has a cult following now. So
it's
I'm
a
trying to
it
search for it. I can't
it
find
is
it.
a
I
good
can't find it
following.
on
Yeah.
any of my streaming services.
I have not seen that too. A lot of movies that a lot of people sing high praises for that I haven't seen. I haven't seen Apocalypse Now, and it was shot in the Philippines.
Apocalypse,
And it's Marlon Brando and Charlie Sheen and Martin Sheen. But Apocalypse Now,
Apocalypse Now.
yeah, it's a Francis Ford Coppola movie, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't care much for it. Like there's a lot of movies that are claimed to be like must see whatever. Yeah, they're good. They have their own thing, but I think it also depends on like what tickles your fancy. Because I mean, I'm a fan of Rocky Four, and if people watch Rocky Four, they were like, "I'm Babao," right? I'm a fan of
Hmm.
Karate Kid, the first one. People will watch that and Babao. But I'm also a fan of Shawshank Redemption. I'm also a fan of Stand by Me. I'm also a fan of there are a lot of movies also that's pretty deep that I also
Right.
like.
Stand by Me. I
But
can't forget that movie. I mean, it's stuck in my
yeah,
head. Like
yeah,
I watched that one time, I was like, yeah, it got stuck. And no
the
matter how
the
how
the,
many times I watch it, it has the same effect.
the puking
It's
part.
it's it's like the Stand by Me, like the whole movie. And I read the book too, so it was like it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it is a good movie. So like I said, there are movies that. What's your favorite war movie? Like I used to like when I was in the States,
Is yours
dude.
Platoon?
War movies came up one after the other. Platoon came out.
Right.
Full Metal
Rambo,
Jacket came
Full
out.
Metal Jacket,
Um, um, Hamburger Hill, I think,
Hamburger
came
Hill,
out.
Hamburger Hill.
Uh,
How
Casualties of
about
War
that
came out.
Casualties of
Casualties of
War?
War
Was it
came
was
out.
that
Michael
the?
J. Fox. That
Oh
came
yeah,
out.
that's
Michael
the
J.
one who
Fox.
somebody got raped. Was that the like?
Something like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. And they were like kind of like he was being guilty. Like he felt like they felt guilty about it, and
Right.
um, and I was like, I was watching all these on Cinemax and HBO on cable late nights when I was a kid because the only movies that came out like one war movie after the other. I don't know why. Born on the Fourth of July. I think that Born on the Fourth of July came out much later. I think I was already here in the Philippines, but
Right.
when those movies came out, I was like what 12 years old, 13 years old watching these movies, dude. When I saw Full Metal Jacket and I saw that what's that big dude's name, which blow himself in the bathroom and killed the drill sergeant killed himself. I was like, holy cow! I was like, I've seen Rambo, I've seen Chuck Norris films, I've seen a lot of violent movies, but there are certain violent films that's just like it hits you different. Like like you can watch Rambo and he'd kill like 50 guys and it's like nothing to you. But you could
Yeah.
watch
There's
one
no effect,
movie and
right? Like the
and
filter would
only
work.
one guy yeah, and only one guy dies and you're like stunned.
Yeah.
Like
The
so
filter doesn't work. It gets stuck. Holy
yeah, yeah,
crap.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like Saving Private Ryan. That one I don't want to watch that again. I don't want to watch Schindler's List. I don't want to watch it again. These are good movies, but I don't want to watch them again because I feel like I'm not going to feel good afterwards. Like ugh, I mean, that kind of sucks, right? Like Exorcist. That's a good movie. It's still for me the best horror movie ever made in terms of just like but it's so freaking evil and it's so freaking disturbing that I feel like if I watch it and I'm alone, I'm gonna have these thoughts in my head. And my aunt
Hmm.
actually explained that to me because she doesn't watch horror movies, and she said, you know what she told me? She goes, if you watch these things, they implant ideas in your head. So even though you're not thinking about these thoughts and you don't have these images yet, once you see them and once you experience them,
You cannot unsee them.
they're
Right.
forever embedded in
So
your
yeah,
memory banks,
that's like
right?
I told you, like that book that I told you, it really helps because um it explains there that because sometimes like like things can get stuck, right? And that's why the
Yeah.
book is explaining like no, it's these are just things that you just have to like yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. Like try to avoid it. That like better not see it. But then if you're like in it already, like if you're in that situation, it's either like you don't have to be obsessive about it or like OC about it because that can be like intrusive thoughts right there. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
these choices, you have these
You
thoughts,
won't get that out of your
but
head,
then you
man.
have to remember that these things are being written by normal people. I mean, the
Yeah,
people who wrote these stories, the people who wrote these movies, are not psychos. Like, for
yeah,
example, American Psycho. The one who wrote that movie, he's not a psycho, but
yeah,
that's for entertainment and whatnot. So it's
yeah,
because, like I said, it's like it's the filter that's not working. So if it helps, you should just like if you're in that situation, you have to remember that no, it's just if it's in your head, it's just in your head. It doesn't matter. It's fine.
yeah,
Don't worry about it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but
But
I know, but I
that's
know
the
what you
thing
mean. I
too.
know what you mean. I know what you mean.
But that's the thing too. It's like my Lola, my grandmother from my father's side. She has not seen a horror movie that would scare her. She visited us in Bangkok once. I was with my dad 2003, and she visited. And she lives in Manila, and she visited us in Bangkok, and I was there at the time. And my Lola's like, "Hey, my Lola offered a challenge to my dad because my dad has like a crazy Blu-ray DVD collection of movies." And
Right.
she's like, you're telling me that Bangkok or Thailand in general has like a reputation for horror or whatever. Show me your scariest like horror Thai horror movie. My dad like brings out this like pile of DVDs and
Right.
like watch this ma, watch this one. My Lola like went through a marathon of all these horror movies from morning to night, and she was just sitting there and she didn't even flinch. And then afterwards, she tells my dad, there was nothing. I wasn't scared of any of them. None of them were scary. And I'm like, I asked my grandmother, I'm like, you don't get scared? She goes, yeah, I don't get scared. I know there's a director behind that camera. I know so for me, it's like, okay, yeah, you can
Her
watch a horror
filter is
movie.
working very
Your
it's
filter's
very
working
well.
in full effect. But you see,
Okay.
that's the thing though. But that's the thing though. It's kind of like it's kind of like eating chocolate but not tasting the chocolate flavor because it has no effect. So it's pointless to watch a horror movie if you're not getting scared. Like it's really pointless if you're convincing yourself to not be scared. And I think that's the point of watching horror movies, to get that experience. And it's and to watch a rom com is to get that experience, or to
Yeah,
watch a
exactly,
tearjerker is to
exactly.
get
Yeah.
that. So if you
Yeah,
don't
but
get that
yeah,
feeling,
I know what
it doesn't
I know what you're
work.
saying because I mean, there was a time before I really had like like these um intrusive thoughts last year. Right before that, there are times that I would want to watch movies like that, like those mindfuck movies that they
Yeah, yeah,
call. Like you'd be like,
yeah, yeah.
whoa,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
the
they screw
fuck
you up.
was
They
that,
mess you
right?
up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh man,
Butterfly effect. That'll do it. Do it
yeah,
too.
Butterfly Effect or
That
like
screws you
Shutter
up.
Island,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Shutter Island. Yeah,
Insidious, yeah, these
yeah.
movies and
Inception.
Inception. That's those are mindfuck movies, and sometimes like whoa, and like my filter was working just fine at that. Like right before last year when what triggered me, I told you what triggered me. It could be the pandemic, and then the cherry on top was the Age of Samurai. I think it was
Hmm.
just too violent for me. Like I watch a lot of violent movies, Quentin Tarantino movies, and it was fine. And like, but then that Age of Samurai movie, that dude, that messed me up. I was like, fuck. So so I started
Okay, hold on,
having
hold on.
like
What is it? A
that
Japanese
issue.
movie?
No,
Is it a
it's on
Japanese movie?
Netflix. It's a documentary, but the way they just portrayed it, like, well, I mean, even Master Yoda watched it. He was like, "That was crazy." I was like, "Right, right," because we would watch movies together, and like, yeah, that was messed up. I'm like, I know, right? And I thought that was like, I wasn't maybe because I wasn't expecting it, because I thought it was just like documentary and whatnot. But then the way they just like like portrayed it,
Was
the
it the
way they,
gore?
yeah, it was so gory, man. It was so gory,
But
and I'm
not
like,
like
oh
slapstick gory, not like
no,
Quentin
it's
Tarantino
not. It's
gory, where
not.
it's like,
No, 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 no,
it's
no,
like,
no, 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 no. But yeah, you would see, and but because it was based on history, like these people would just like kill kids too. They would be killing kids. They would be killing women. They didn't care. They would be killing monks and whatever. And these and these people I've already heard from from social studies in Japan. Like they're like Jose Rizal, Andres Bonifacio, like
yeah,
Emilio,
yeah,
like we have our heroes and whatnot. They have all these guys, like whom they owe Japan to,
yeah,
who made Japan.
yeah,
So I was thinking like, oh, it's probably like Jose Rizal. Like Jose Rizal was, one of our icons and whatnot. And he was like a
yeah,
really peaceful guy. But then like this Oda Nobunaga guy, he was a warlord, man. He was like messed up. But he's like,
yeah, yeah,
adored as like one of the fathers of Japan. But
yeah, yeah.
then, so I mean, if you do not really understand the history of Japan, you wouldn't, because our history is nothing compared to Japan. Like
Of
they've
course,
been through a lot of cil
they've been
wars
through a
and
lot.
like
Yeah,
the feudal times and whatnot. So I mean,
yeah.
because I'm coming from the Philippines and we don't have that much except for the Spanish ruling us for 300 years. So I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
And I wasn't
our
ready
our
for it.
history is
I was like,
connected to another's history. You know what I'm saying? Like
right, right,
our
right.
other people have history. They came in and then they became a part of our history. But they themselves have history. Like the Chinese, the Japanese, they have history. The Spanish, they have history. When they came into ours, they became a part of our history. So we really didn't have our own history. Come to think of it, because maybe we did, but it's just we were just like people living in a country and minding our own businesses, and then people came in and like stirred the pot. But yeah, okay. Let's read Julius's response to our talk about movies here. It goes, Exorcism
Right.
of Emily Rose is the best horror movie that I'm not going to watch ever again. Okay. I saw Exorcism of Emily Rose. The thing about Exorcism of Emily Rose though is that what didn't scare me about it was that it seemed like it seemed like she was epileptic or something. Like it was actually more of like a court case drama when you think about it. It was more of trying to
Hmm.
determine if she was really being possessed, or she was an epileptic, or she was going through seizures and it was like a health issue. And it just like it became it was just like some people just viewed it as an exorcism, like she was being possessed. But it was actually, because I mean, like, for example, if you've ever witnessed somebody go through like an epileptic seizure, which I have, and I think my brother-in-law has a sister who suffers from that, and I have friends who have kids who I think go through episodes of that. But I've witnessed in person somebody go through an epileptic seizure. We were at the airport. I was with my dad. We were in Germany, and we were at the airport, and this guy in line with us all of a sudden just like falls to the floor and just like stiffens up and like starts shaking, and like some fluid comes out of his mouth, and we were freaking out. And I was like, is he dying of an overdose? Because the guy, looked like he was wearing like a jacket and he looked unwashed and he had long hair. And I actually thought the guy was like, a drug guy or whatever. And I was like looking at my dad and I was holding my dad. I was like, "Pa, is he dying of an overdose? What's going on?" And my dad's like, "No, no, no. He might be, epilepsy. He might be having an epileptic attack." And the medics came running, the security came running, and they didn't touch him. They were just kind of waiting it out. And then the guy just went through the whole episode, and it lasted probably like about a minute, and everybody was just watching him on the floor. And then boom, it stopped. And he was like, what the heck happened? So if you're, let's say, from a town that does not know of such
About yeah,
a
about
sickness or
epilepsy.
illness,
They
and
yeah,
you
they
see somebody in your town going through like that, you
oh,
would be like,
he got possessed.
that guy's possessed. That
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
witchcraft.
Yeah,
It's
ignorance, yeah, ignorance.
same story with the Salem witches, right? In
Right.
Massachusetts. All
Yes.
these women were put on trial because a rumor started that they were witches, and it was just about women that didn't like each other. So they started issuing rumors and making up rumors that this woman is strange and that she does this. So when somebody starts doing something, you start looking at them with prejudiced eyes, like a neighbor. If a neighbor says, "Uy, addict yan. Uy, criminal yan. Uy, ano yan," all of a sudden you start observing your neighbor and start looking at them differently. So it's like the Home Alone thing when that old man threw the trash and was shoveling
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
and then Buzz tells Kevin, "That's old
Yeah.
man,
That.
whatever. He
Yeah.
killed his
He killed
family."
people with his like
Old
shovel.
man Marley, old man. So all
Yeah.
of a sudden,
Old
people
man
start
Marley.
looking at him
Yeah.
differently, and when he does things on his own, all of a sudden you're thinking this guy's really a killer. So, like you said, ignorance, exactly. So that's what Exorcism of Emily Rose was about. It was about either a priest saying that she was being possessed, or the court saying that, or the doctor saying that she's just an epileptic, victim, or suffering epilepsy. So that's why it didn't scare me as much, because I felt like there was that possibility that she's actually not possessed, because there was really
Right.
no
Right.
presence of,
Yeah. Because I
unlike
mean
unlike The Exorcist, which is really,
yeah, it was like packaged as an actual horror movie, right? There was
yeah.
no
I mean,
angle
come
that there's
on,
like
no,
the
her head turned
possibility
around for
of
crying
her
out
being
loud.
sick of
The
epilepsy or whatever,
the,
right? Yeah.
the bed
Exactly.
levitated for crying.
Exactly.
That's not
Yeah.
epilepsy. I
Yeah.
mean, that's it's
That was an actual
crazy.
horror movie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was actually a horror movie.
All
Like,
right.
okay, Nightmare on Elm Street. Those were people just having like maybe bangungots or something, right? There's
Yeah.
always that
Yeah.
angle to that, and they just
Yeah.
died from their
Giurom
dreams.
lang di ay giurom.
There's an open
All
one.
right.
There's an open one.
All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna do a show again tomorrow, right? So
Yes, we
because
will.
I got like a sore back. I got no. It's not an injury, but I made a like behind the back dribble, and this dude just. I don't man. He made a blocking foul. I was like, man, this guy's an idiot. But I'm like, whatever. But he said sorry. And I'm like, oh man.
It
Like
happens.
usually
It
when you
happens.
do it behind the back, you don't follow the guy because that would
No,
be like, right. It'd be like, all
Yeah,
right, you're already
smart.
too late. I already made it behind the back.
It's in the back of the middle shelf.
And he didn't even call
Hold on.
foul. I'm like, are you Japanese? You didn't call foul. No, well, the guy's Japanese, but then to be fair, we kind of had like we oh Raj.
Yeah, it's the same thing. You have to eat this first.
No, I ate this before. I only like the lemon flavor.
You eat the lemon. Just say hi to Tito. Say hi to Nino.
Hey
Hello.
Raj,
Oh, it's pretty good.
I know it's the word.
It's
Good, that's fine.
gummy stuff.
Play-Doh.
It's
gummy
good.
stuff.
Tastes like Play-Doh.
Tastes like Play-Doh.
Yeah.
You eat
Did
Play-Doh?
did did your tita Kaka get in touch with your dad? No, not yet. Did
Not
no,
yet.
she didn't. Like I talked to her last night, and she said yes, but well, probably because she was traveling from Mati. So all right, because I was talking about like what I told you. So all right, just wait a bit. Like yeah, she
I
just
don't
got
like
back.
it.
We having a commercial
A bit
break.
later. Yeah, no, yeah. I was
Yeah.
yeah. You might want some Robux, so I told my sister to yeah, so that you'll have something for Robux.
This
All right.
episode brought to you
Anyway,
by this.
by
Anyway,
Juby Jubies. All right.
yeah.
Okay,
Bye
so
bye.
guys, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow. I just need to take a bit of a rest and ice my shoulder. All right, my left
So we're having shoulder
shoulder.
issues now, man. I don't know what's up.
I know. Then I remembered you, and you were like, so I'm like, holy shit! It was like, all
Yeah, I
right.
gotta play basketball
It's a
too.
good thing my
Remember?
knee was okay. Right? Yeah, yeah, that was basketball as well. But yeah, it's not that bad. But I just don't want to wake up tomorrow and like, holy shit, because I want,
So I'll
because
see you
I
tomorrow.
want. Right? Yeah.
What time's the show?
9 p.m. Yeah, same time.
All right,
Same time.
9 p.m.
Like
tomorrow.
or schedule on
Go ahead,
Saturday.
drink it.
All right. Okay. Well, see you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Julius. No, not, it's yeah. It's a long commercial break.
What's our
We'll be
topic
back
tomorrow?
tomorrow. I don't know, man. What are you going to talk about
We didn't
tomorrow?
even get
Something
to talk about
interesting.
our topic tonight. Or we'll come up
Yes,
with
we are
something.
not getting any younger, but you're not as young as us. We are way, way younger.
Yeah,
If you get our drift.
in our
Anyway, all right.
minds. Yeah.
All right,
All
in our
right.
minds. Yeah.
Bye,
Well,
guys. Take care.
all right. So we'll see you tomorrow, and yeah, we'll think of a topic. Well, if there's something you want to talk about,
Let us
let us
know.
know. I mean, I don't have
Yeah.
any idea yet, but yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks a lot. This has been Iceman,
Rodriguez.
and we are out. Good night.
Here's the best one.